Hello there and welcome back to the Super Simple Paintjob show. Today I'm going to paint the most beautiful miniature, one of the most beautiful miniatures for the Bretonnian army, the Grail Reliquiae. The Grail Reliquiae was a new unit in the 2004 army book and I never owned one before. This seems to be a recurring theme here, painting minis that I never owned before. But let's get started. As usual, I start with a layer of Steel Legion Drab on the base, followed by a layer of tan earth from Vallejo model color for all cloths and bags. While that is drying, I start with the Grail Knight corpse. I will paint the Grail Knight in blue and red. For the blue areas I will use Ultramarine Blue from Vallejo game color. I will do a quartered design, so I apply the blue accordingly. It is not necessary to be super precise here, since the red has a higher pigmentation and will cover any mistakes I will make during this part. I will switch back to the pilgrims now and will paint 2 with blue cloths and 2 with red cloths. Just apply a thinned down color of choice over the main parts of the cloth, with the tan earth still shining through, giving the blue a dirty look. Switching to Gory Red from Vallejo game color, I repeat the same steps again, painting the cloths of the 2 remaining pilgrims and finishing the quartered heraldry on the deceased Grail Knight. Next in line is Sons of Horus Green from Citadel. I use this color only on the pilgrims. Dark Sand from Vallejo game color will be used to finish off all areas on the pilgrims that are still tan earth, as well as the hair, and it will be a base coat for some metallics. For the dead Grail Knight, I use Dark Sand to paint all areas that will be get a coat of gold. Chainmail is used for the chainmail again, and for almost all metallics on the pilgrims. For the few visible skin areas I use elf skin from Vallejo game color. A 1-to-1 mix of Parasite Brown and Tan Earth is used for the wooden lance and the back of the shield. This should not be a surprise, but I use black for the shoes, belts and sword handles. Silver from Vallejo game color is then used to paint the knight's armor, followed by a layer of gold on all metallic parts that were previously painted in dark sand. Bone White from Vallejo game color is used for the grey skeleton and the horse skull. Back to the base, I painted the dog in dark sand and tan earth, the tombstone in dawnstone, the skull in bone white and the sword pieces in copper. The base is washed with Agrax Earthshade and then dry brushed with dark sand. The base trims are painted in Steel Legion Drab. After a few touch-ups here and there, it is time for some wash magic. It begins with Reikland Fleshshade for the skin. Since this is a peasant unit, and peasants are filthy, I will now drench everything else in Agrax Earthshade. Since the wash needs time to dry, I'm going to work on the base again and paint some rocks in medium sea grey from Vallejo game color. I will now paint the beam with a mixture of Parasite Brown, Tan Earth and Black, and everything else attached to it in Tan Earth. The metallic parts on the beam get a layer of Chainmail, the ribbons are painted in Ultramarine Blue and Gory Red, the bell will get a layer of copper first before the gold is added. The beam will be washed completely with Agrax Earthshade. I encountered some problems while gluing it all together. The beam just broke up into two pieces and I had to re-glue certain parts more than once. Therefore, the model had a few gaps, but only one is really noticeable. But nothing a little bit of green stuff can't fix. Also, I rubbed off some paint. Now it is time for the finishing touches. I will repaint every major surface with their original color, trying to not paint in the recesses. Finally, it is time for static grass and some tufts. And here is the final result. What do you think of my Grail Reliquie? Let me know in the comments below. The painting process was a lot of fun, but the assembly was kind of annoying. The metal was very soft and the slit in the beam an obvious weak point. And even after fixing the beam, you can see that it is still bent. But overall, I'm really happy how the Reliquie turned out, and it will be a great addition to my already huge Bretonnian army. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.